Hey guys, welcome to Quinian's Budget Crafts. We need a whole bunch of cannons. So one way to make these cannon barrels is to use a dowel. The dowel size I'm using is 7/16. Cut off a little 2-inch chunk. Use a 7/32 inch drill bit to drill a hole in the middle. The hole doesn't need to be that deep, it just needs to be convincing. Try to get it as centered as you can, but it doesn't have to be exact. You can absolutely use a normal household drill here, but I have a drill press, so I'm using it. Hold your dowel and some pliers with a little piece of leather, like a scrap from a belt or something, to keep your pliers from putting teeth marks in the dowel. And now we gotta shape the dowel into a barrel. You can use a household drill, you can use a drill press, you can use a Dremel. Something like this little thing, it's not even actually a Dremel, it's just a China rotary tool. These things are like $5 or $10. You can use the sanding wheel to make a little groove there, using the rotary tool, or you can do it on the drill. Now, if you are using a drill press or a household drill, turn the speed down to the lowest possible. You get a lot more control and it's a lot safer. One thing you could do with the drill press is turn it into a poverty lathe. Then using the rotary tool, in combination with the drill press, just carve out a groove. If you didn't cut it quite flush, that's fine, just take a file to the bottom of it. Clean it up with a little sandpaper. To get the rounded part on the end, come back about a 1/4 inch or so and carve it like you're trying to carve a point into it. Once you go all the way around, come up about halfway through your carving and then do it again, and then come up a little bit more and do it again until it just sort of rounds over. Once you have something pretty round, go ahead and clean it up with the sanding drum or sandpaper in your hand or hand file, however you want to do it. To clean up the inside of the barrel, just take your X-Acto knife and very gently scrape out whatever excess material is still in there. Like I said, this doesn't have to be super deep, it just needs to be convincing. Go over and hand sand a little bit to make sure you don't have any extra little ridges anywhere. Divots and dimples are fine, ridges are not. Once you've made about 20 of these things, go ahead and take them outside and spray paint all of them with the primer and filler. A 3/32 inch drill bit is almost the exact same size as a toothpick, so go ahead and poke a hole in every single one of them with that drill bit. I went 1 inch back from the end of the barrel. That gives you those little pivot things that stick out the side of the cannon. So most cannons have a band on them, or several bands. I'm just going to do 2 just so it kind of has the look, but not try to give myself a whole bunch of extra work. You can use a bunch of different things to make the banding. I also do leather work, so I happen to have a whole bunch of this leather lace laying around. It's pretty perfect for this. One side is flat and the other side is domed. So just take some Elmer's glue stick, wipe the flat side of the leather lace, and wrap it around. Midpoint between the end and the stick in the middle. Cut off the excess, smush it down, hold it for a second. If it won't cooperate, a lot of mine didn't, then just add a little bit of super glue there where the 2 ends meet. Alright, that's pretty good. Now we need a carriage. After doing a little research, most of them look like they have these little step things. I'm guessing that's to aim them. And they all sit on wheels so that you can wheel them back and forth to stick the barrel out of the ship and then bring it back to reload it. For the wheels, I'm going to use these tiny little flat beads. And the actual carriage portion is built out of ready board. The bottom and the sides are 1/2 inch strips. So just go ahead and cut out a whole bunch of 1/2 inch strips, and then cut those strips into 1 1/4 inch chunks. In order to get those steps on the side, do the bottom step the same height as the thickness of the foam, then come up a little bit, do the next step, up a little bit, do the next step. You can really just eyeball this here. If you want, you can make a master template out of something harder, like a piece of wood or chipboard, and use that to cut all your other ones. Once you got them all cut out, put a little bit of glue on the side of your bottom piece, stick the sides on, and then we gotta add some wheels. Real simple, just put a toothpick through a couple of those beads, put the bead on either side of the foam, and glue it down. When you put the glue on there, make sure that you get some on the bead itself, not just the toothpick. Snip off the ends, flush with the bead as best you can. To texture the cart there, to make it look like wood, just put a few slices in it with your X-Acto and then run over it with the wire brush. Once you're happy with it, go ahead and coat everything down, including the wheels in black paint and Mod Podge. For the paint job on this, I'm using a dark brown with like a drop of yellow. Again, just cover the whole thing. And then once that's dry, go back and do some dry brushing with just the yellow by itself. For the cannon barrel, there's a few ways you can go about this. The folk art metallic gunmetal gray is basically gray with silver glitter in it, and the color shift metallic black is black with gold flakes in it. So here I have some side-by-sides to compare for you. The one on the left is just the black and gold, and the one on the right is the black and gold over the silver. I ended up really liking how that looks, so that's what we're doing. Go ahead and coat all your cannon barrels in the gunmetal gray, and once that dries, go back over all of them with the color shift metallic. Paint the inside of the barrel black, and stick the barrel to the carriage. A little bit of hot glue under the bottom, and if it won't stay, then put a little bit of super glue underneath the little pivot things on the side. And there you go, guys, some not so simple cannons. We will be making use of all these cannons on Saturday's video. Until then, thank you for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, all that stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one.